And talking about war and violence, we have news from Pakistan. It's the day after Eid today. The world marked the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, Eid ul-Milad. And Friday is a holy day in Islam, so people gathered in mosques in large numbers. But in Balochistan, the celebrations took a deadly turn. There was a blast near a mosque. More than 50 people were killed. It was a suicide bombing. It happened at a time when rallies from two mosques were converging at a point. That's when the bomber detonated his device. What followed was absolute chaos, people screaming, others fleeing the site, many rushing for help.
I was passing near to the rally when the blast happened. I don't know the reason, as I became unconscious after the blast. I was scared too. I saw so many bodies lying here and there. Bodies were lying for at least 2 hours. No one from the government side was here. People shifted bodies in their own private vehicles.
More than 50 people dead, many more injured. The death toll could rise, and this wasn't the only blast in Pakistan today. Another one took place in Hangu, that's near the city of Peshawar. This one too happened at a mosque. We cannot confirm the death toll, but estimates suggest at least 4 people were killed. So one holy day and 2 deadly blasts. That's a lot even for Pakistan. Their Interior Ministry has called it a heinous act. They say they're investigating. They also knew this was coming. Days before the blasts, authorities had asked the police to stay vigilant. They issued warnings. They said terrorists could target rallies, especially those marking the Prophet's birthday. So they knew it could happen, but they were not able to stop it. Which brings us to the question, who was behind these blasts? No group has taken responsibility yet, but all fingers point towards the TTP, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, also known as the Pakistani Taliban. They've been behind recent terror attacks in the country, but this time, even the TTP has denied involvement. They say such attacks are against their policy, whatever it is. The other possible culprit could be the Islamic State, but even they haven't said anything yet. So we still don't know who is behind the blasts. But we definitely know one thing. For decades, Pakistan has harbored terrorists. It has funded terror camps. It has exported terror to the world. Now the chickens are coming home to roost. And while terrorism still remains Pakistan's biggest export, they've added another item to the list. Beggars. I'm not making this up. In fact, I'm not even the one saying this. This has come from the Pakistani government, from a standing committee of the Pakistan Senate. Listen to what they've said. 90% of all beggars detained in foreign countries are Pakistanis. 90%. How did they get there in the first place? Mostly on the pretext of performing the Hajj. Most of them go on the Umrah visa. They travel abroad in the name of pilgrimage, and then they don't return. They stay back and beg for a living. Now, West Asian countries are not happy about this. Saudi Arabia and Iraq are complaining. They say their jails are full of Pakistani beggars. They want Islamabad to put a stop to this. Saudi Arabia has apparently issued a strict warning. It wants Pakistan to monitor who gets an Umrah visa. And it wants a crackdown on repeat offenders. It tells you how bad the situation in Pakistan is. But then again, this flows from the top. Pakistani leaders do the same. They have gone to West Asia multiple times asking for money. Former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif recently spoke about it himself. Listen in.
वाजपेयी साहब जब वजीर आजम बने तो $1 बिलियन हिंदुस्तान के खजाने में नहीं था, लेकिन आज उनके पास $600 बिलियन जो है ना वो कहां से आ गया है, और हम $1 बिलियन आज भी मुल्क मुल्क जाके मांग रहे हैं। क्या इज्जत है हमारी आज? उनकी नजरों में भी क्या इज्जत है? चाइना से हम मांगते हैं, अरब मुल्कों से हम मांगते हैं, हमारा वजीर आज़म जाके उसको मजबूर होता है वो मांगने के लिए।
And when Pakistani leaders aren't begging, their diplomats are caught stealing and pickpocketing. In South Korea, 2 Pakistani diplomats were caught shoplifting. They were stealing chocolates and hats. Another bureaucrat was caught stealing a Kuwaiti delegate's wallet. So if leaders are begging and diplomats are stealing, can their Senate really blame these people who beg? And this is not funny. This is a moment of reckoning for Pakistan. It is grappling with an economic and political crisis. Its economy is in free fall. Inflation is at a record high. 40% of the population lives below the poverty line. Its citizens are leaving the country to beg in other nations. Their entire system is geared to help only one party, the Pakistani army. It is immune to everything. Inflation, budget cuts, nothing touches them. The people of Pakistan should think about it, or they'll keep suffering attacks and the humiliation that such reports bring.